Hello friends. When we speak about Aries in love, we are not just talking about a zodiac sign. We are stepping into a storm of passion, a furnace of raw emotion, and a whirlwind of energy that can transform ordinary relationships into unforgettable journeys. Aries, ruled by Mars, the planet of war, drive, and desire, approaches love not as a quiet stroll but as a daring sprint toward excitement. Every Aries heart beats like a drum of conquest, and when they fall in love, they do so with the same vigor they bring into battle, business, or personal ambition. Love for Aries is a field of fire, and whoever walks into it must be ready to embrace both the warmth and the scorch. Let's unfold the story of Aries in romance through 7 deep, thoughtful dimensions. The passionate flame of Aries in love. Aries is never lukewarm, and this truth cannot be overstated. To understand the Aries heart is to understand fire itself, restless, radiant, and impossible to contain. When Aries encounters someone who stirs their spirit, the response is immediate and dramatic. They don't linger in shadows, don't quietly test the waters. Instead, they leap boldly, as if they've been waiting their entire life for this exact moment. The spark is not merely a passing flicker. It's a blaze that illuminates everything around them, impossible to ignore, impossible to resist. For Aries, attraction is not an abstract idea. It's visceral, it's raw, and it demands to be acted upon with urgency. This urgency is rooted in their place as the first sign of the zodiac, the eternal cosmic newborn. Like a child seeing the world with fresh eyes, Aries meets love with unfiltered wonder and untamed will. They do not overthink, they do not calculate, and they do not hesitate. Love, to Aries, is not a safe intellectual exercise to be measured from a cautious distance. It is not a puzzle to be solved or a contract to be negotiated. Love, in the Aries universe, is an adventure to be seized, tasted, devoured, and lived as if tomorrow might never arrive. Their very essence demands immersion, and once the flame is lit, it grows swiftly, engulfing every corner of their emotional world. When Aries falls, they fall with velocity and intensity that astonishes even those closest to them. What others may take months to confess, Aries might declare within days. They can look into someone's eyes and, in that single moment, know they want to explore a future together. It is not unusual for Aries to blurt out words of love on a second date, or even the first, because restraint is not part of their natural vocabulary. They do not believe in pacing emotions. To Aries, every heartbeat counts, every moment matters, and why should love be hidden when it is felt so deeply? Their passion manifests in ways both grand and small. They are the lovers who show up unexpectedly at your door with flowers at midnight, the partners who plan elaborate surprises just to see you smile, the ones who cannot stop touching your hand across the table because distance feels unbearable even for a few moments. Their affection is constant, sometimes relentless, like a fire that refuses to die down. They want physical closeness, emotional intimacy, shared laughter, and fiery arguments that end in reconciliation kisses. Their love does not simmer quietly, it roars, it demands, it shines. For many partners, this intensity is intoxicating. To be loved by an Aries is to be swept up into a narrative that feels cinematic, where life suddenly seems brighter, faster, and more alive. Every kiss feels like the first, electric, dizzying, unforgettable, and every quarrel feels like the last, sharp, dramatic, and full of meaning. There is no middle ground, no quiet gray area. Aries paints love in vivid reds, golds, and scarlets, and once you've been in their embrace, ordinary affection feels pale in comparison. They create a love story that feels larger than life, where passion does not fade with time but renews itself in new flames each day. Yet, within this fire, there is a deeper truth. Aries reveals that love should never be half-hearted. They do not understand going through the motions or keeping things polite and safe. If Aries loves you, you will know it in every glance, every touch, every word. If they don't, you will also know it, because Aries cannot fake what they do not feel. Their hearts are honest, and their emotions are written boldly across their lives. To love them is to live on the edge, to dance on the boundary where exhilaration and vulnerability meet. Aries doesn't believe in waiting. Patience, for them, is not a virtue but a barrier. They thrive on immediacy, on feeling everything right now, not tomorrow, not someday. When they want to kiss, they kiss. When they want to declare love, they declare it. When they want to build a future, they will start talking about it long before others are ready. This impatience is not recklessness, it's a refusal to let life slip by unlived. They see love as a flame that must be fed in the moment, because to delay passion is to risk losing it. Their motto is simple: love must be felt in the now, or it loses its meaning. This blazing approach can be overwhelming for those who prefer a slower, more measured pace. A cautious soul may feel consumed, even burned, by the Aries fire. Their directness may seem reckless, their confessions too soon, their intensity too much. For such partners, Aries might feel like a storm, beautiful to watch, but terrifying to be caught within. Yet for others, especially those who crave excitement and vitality, Aries is the lover of their dreams. They awaken a side of their partner that had been sleeping, reminding them that love is not always quiet, not always gentle. It is often fierce, wild, and exhilarating. Aries brings with them a paradoxical gift. Though they burn brightly and quickly, they also sustain passion in ways others cannot. Their love does not dwindle into habit. It renews itself through constant energy, playfulness, and daring. Even years into a relationship, Aries will still be the one to surprise you with spontaneous adventures, sudden declarations, and unexpected sparks. They never truly settle down in the sense of letting passion fade. For them, love is an eternal flame that must always be tended, stoked, and celebrated. To love an Aries is to enter a story where there are no quiet waters. The tide is always rushing, the waves always high. You are pulled into their world of immediacy, where love is never ordinary, never mediocre. They teach us that passion is not something to be tamed but something to be embraced fully. To stand by an Aries is to live within a flame, sometimes warm, sometimes scorching, but always alive. And in that fiery truth lies the essence of Aries love. It is unforgettable, unrelenting, and utterly transformative. The boldness and honesty of Aries in relationships. One of the defining traits of Aries in love is their boldness, and this quality cannot be understated, for it is the very heartbeat of their romantic expression. To understand Aries is to understand that hesitation is alien to their nature. They are the first sign of the zodiac, the pioneer, the warrior, the one who charges forward when others are still considering whether to take the first step. This forward momentum manifests profoundly in love. If Aries feels something, they will not tuck it away for later. They will declare it, wear it, and let it blaze forth with an unapologetic force. To be loved by Aries is to be drenched in their certainty, their rawness, their refusal to play coy games that waste both time and spirit. Aries does not dabble in ambiguity. They believe love is meant to be clear, bold, and loudly lived. They don't play games, not because they can't but because they won't. Games are, to Aries, a waste of precious energy that could be spent on passion, laughter, adventure, or intimacy. They are not interested in keeping someone guessing. They are interested in showing their feelings with unfiltered clarity. An Aries in love doesn't say, maybe, when they mean, yes, and they don't say, later, when they mean, now. Their directness, their refusal to dilute their truth, is one of their most striking qualities. In a world where many hesitate to reveal affection for fear of rejection or vulnerability, Aries charges forward with fearless candor, preferring the sting of truth to the dull ache of uncertainty. They don't hide feelings, because to them, hiding is dishonesty, and dishonesty corrodes the very soul of love. If Aries looks at you with affection, their eyes will give them away long before their words do, because their entire being radiates sincerity. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, not as a weakness but as a declaration of strength. They see no honor in masking emotions, no point in disguising tenderness behind walls of pretense. For Aries, love is not a secret chamber. It is a blazing torch, meant to light up the world, meant to be shared, meant to be lived openly and unapologetically. They don't wait for the perfect time to reveal affection, because for Aries, the perfect time is always the present moment. They cannot and will not postpone passion. Life is fleeting, and Aries knows this in their bones. Why wait for the stars to align when the stars are already burning in their chest? When Aries loves you, they will tell you, perhaps at a crowded party, perhaps in a quiet moment over coffee, perhaps under the sudden impulse of a midnight sky. They will not rehearse the words, they will let them tumble out, fresh, unpolished, but unmistakably true. If Aries loves you, you will know, because they will not let a day pass without making it clear. Their honesty is raw, unfiltered, sometimes even blunt, but it always comes from a genuine place. They do not coat their truth in honey to make it more palatable, because sugarcoating, to them, feels like betrayal. If something is wrong, they will say so. If something is beautiful, they will shout it. If they adore you, they will tell you 10 times in a row, unable to restrain the flood of devotion. And if they are hurt, they will let you know in words that may sting but are never false. Aries' honesty can sometimes feel like fire, warm when it embraces, scorching when it confronts, but it is always real. Aries sees no point in pretending or disguising emotions, because in their philosophy, love is too sacred to be falsified. Pretending to feel what they don't is unbearable to them, and pretending not to feel what they do is impossible. For them, love is meant to be lived openly, without masks, without charades, without the suffocating cloak of uncertainty. They want relationships where both partners stand face to face with bare souls, no veils, no hesitation. With Aries, what you see is what you get, and that is their gift. They liberate love from the chains of doubt. This candor can be refreshing in a world where many people fear vulnerability. With Aries, there is no need to decode subtle hints, no need to analyze cryptic texts, no need to lose sleep wondering where you stand. They will tell you, directly, sometimes with words, sometimes with actions so bold that they cannot be misunderstood. They will drive across town just to see you for 10 minutes. They will confess feelings in a crowded room without caring who listens. They will write you messages that burn with sincerity, not worrying if they sound too much. Their openness is like clean air after a storm, sharp, invigorating, undeniable. However, honesty has a sharp side, and Aries is not always gentle with their truth. Their impatience is legendary. If they feel their love is not reciprocated with equal enthusiasm, frustration quickly boils. They may pour their soul out to you one day, and if they sense hesitation, they may pull away the next. They don't linger in uncertainty. Indecision drains them, waiting suffocates them. To Aries, it is better to face rejection than to waste time in limbo. Their attitude is not cruelty but clarity. They would rather have the wound of truth than the slow bleed of ambiguity. If someone cannot meet them in the same raw openness, Aries will retreat, not out of spite, but out of a fierce need to protect their fire from being dimmed. Their boldness also extends to defending the people they love, and here the Mars warrior in them reveals itself most clearly. Aries is fiercely protective, to the point where their partner may sometimes feel they have an army at their side. If someone threatens their beloved emotionally or physically, Aries will not stand by silently. They transform into a shield, a fighter, a roaring defender who refuses to let harm touch the one they love. This is not mere romance, it is loyalty in its most primal form. When Aries declares, "I love you," they are also saying, "I will protect you, I will fight for you, I will stand between you and the world if I must." If a harsh word is spoken to their partner, Aries will step forward. If unfairness is inflicted, Aries will rise in protest. If danger lurks, Aries will become the warrior they were born to be. Their courage in love is not symbolic, it is lived daily, in actions big and small. They will stand up to friends, family, strangers, or institutions if necessary, because their beloved is sacred to them. With Aries, you are not only cherished, you are defended, safeguarded, honored. Their boldness and honesty are both their strength and their gift. They may not always choose their words carefully, and they may sometimes love too fiercely, too openly, too fast for the comfort of others, but in a world of half-truths and guarded affections, their directness is a rare and precious thing. Aries' love is a bright flame. It does not flicker quietly, it does not hide in corners, it does not whisper behind masks. It blazes in the open air, and if you are brave enough to stand in its light, you will know a love that is fearless, unashamed, and unforgettable. The joy and challenges of loving an Aries. Being with an Aries feels like stepping into a grand adventure, one that rarely slows down, one that constantly pushes boundaries and awakens every nerve in your body. It is not a passive love, not a gentle drifting down a quiet stream. It is whitewater rafting, it is mountain climbing, it is skydiving into the unknown, all wrapped into the arms of a single person who carries fire in their soul. The Aries lover is the spark that ignites the journey, and if you are by their side, you will quickly learn that their presence transforms ordinary days into extraordinary experiences. They cannot help but bring movement, passion, and daring into a relationship, because that is simply how they breathe, how they love, how they exist. On the bright side, Aries keeps romance alive with spontaneity that is both thrilling and deeply touching. They are not content with routine, not satisfied with love that settles into mechanical gestures or predictable schedules. If the relationship starts to feel too safe, too quiet, too predictable, Aries will shake it alive with something unexpected. They will suggest a late-night road trip when the world is sleeping, urging you to get in the car with no destination in mind, just the promise of adventure under the stars. They will book a surprise dinner in a hidden spot across town simply because they thought of you in the middle of the day and wanted to see your eyes light up with delight. They will speak bold declarations of love, sometimes in the middle of a crowded space, sometimes whispered in a reckless moment of passion, making love feel cinematic, like you are living in a film where every scene is heightened and every emotion is magnified. Aries wants their partner to feel special, cherished, celebrated, never ordinary, never overlooked. They want you to wake up in the morning knowing you are deeply desired and go to sleep at night knowing you are fiercely loved. They infuse their relationships with excitement, laughter, daring, and joy. They plan spontaneous dates, they craft playful surprises, they ignite laughter with their humor and zest. They don't just say, "I love you," they prove it with actions that shout louder than words. And when they are truly in love, they light up their partner's world in a way that makes life feel fuller, more vibrant, more alive. With Aries, every day has the potential to become a memory worth treasuring. But every fire has its shadows, and with Aries, challenges inevitably arise. Their fiery nature, while intoxicating, can also be volatile. Passion, for Aries, does not discriminate between joy and frustration. It fuels both with equal intensity. Just as they can shower you with affection and praise, they can also unleash temper when provoked. Arguments with Aries can flare up quickly, like sparks catching on dry leaves. A small disagreement can escalate into a full blaze, because Aries speaks in the heat of the moment, pouring out emotions without filters or restraint. Their words can sting, not always because they mean to hurt, but because they are incapable of holding back when passion overwhelms them. The saving grace is that Aries cools down as quickly as they ignite. They do not carry grudges like heavy stones. Their anger is a storm that passes fast, clearing the skies once again. But not every partner finds it easy to shake off the intensity of those clashes. Some may feel scorched by the flame, even after Aries has forgotten the quarrel. This can create moments of imbalance, where Aries has moved on but their partner is still reeling from the impact of what was said. To love an Aries is to understand that their tempers are brief, their words sometimes too sharp, but their core intention is never cruelty. They simply live in a state of emotional immediacy that doesn't always allow for gentle moderation. Another challenge lies in Aries' constant need for momentum. They thrive on movement, on growth, on change. They are not content when relationships fall into patterns that feel stagnant or overly comfortable. Stability has its place, but if it begins to feel like stagnation, Aries becomes restless. They crave novelty and freshness. They want love to be alive, to evolve, to breathe like a living flame. If a relationship becomes mechanical, routine, or predictable, Aries may start to feel caged, their spirit suffocating beneath repetition. This restlessness can lead them to push their partner toward new experiences, adventures, or challenges, sometimes more quickly than the partner is ready for. Loving an Aries, then, requires a willingness to embrace change, growth, and adventure. Their partners must not only accept the fire but feed it, must not only allow the spontaneity but join in it. Aries needs someone who can dance with the rhythm of their energy, who can say yes to last-minute plans, who can laugh in the face of the unexpected, who can be resilient when tempers flare and flexible when routines shift. Loving them is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage, adaptability, and an appetite for intensity. Yet those who are brave enough to embrace both the joy and the challenges of Aries find themselves in relationships that feel utterly alive. The laughter is louder, the passion deeper, the connection more vivid. Aries does not love halfway, and so being with them means you are always fully immersed, never half asleep, never drifting through life unnoticed. The very challenges that Aries brings, the quick temper, the restlessness, the fiery energy, are also the qualities that ensure the relationship never dulls, never dies, never fades into monotony. To love an Aries is to live with both the spark and the flame, to be thrilled and tested in equal measure. It is to recognize that the very intensity that makes them difficult at times is the same intensity that makes them unforgettable. The joy and the challenges cannot be separated. They are two sides of the same coin, inseparable threads in the fabric of Aries love. And those who dare to walk this fiery path discover that even with its storms and sparks, loving an Aries is one of the most exhilarating journeys the heart can ever take. Zodiac signs that harmonize with Aries in love. In the grand theater of astrology, not all roles are equal, and not all pairings carry the same dramatic weight. For Aries, whose energy burns like a torch lit by Mars itself, only certain partners can truly match the intensity, the drive, and the relentless fire that defines their way of loving. Aries thrives with those who either mirror their energy with equal heat or balance it with complementary qualities that keep the flame alive without snuffing it out. To be with Aries is to step into a love story that demands participation, not passive admiration, and the zodiac offers a select few signs who harmonize beautifully with this fiery force of nature. Leo and Aries share a fiery chemistry that feels almost destined, as though written in the stars long before their paths crossed on Earth. Both are ruled by the element of fire, both live for passion, and both crave the feeling of being alive in every moment of their romance. When Aries meets Leo, it is as though two flames leap toward one another, merging into a single blaze that lights up the sky. Their love story is magnetic, dramatic, and unforgettable, with sparks that never stop flying. Aries adores Leo's regal presence, their confidence, their need to shine, and Leo is equally drawn to Aries' boldness, bravery, and raw intensity. Together, they form a partnership that is never dull, always dramatic, and often larger than life. Even their arguments can be theatrical, filled with grand gestures, but unlike with other signs, these clashes only add fuel to their fire. They thrive in the spotlight together, inspiring admiration from others, and they live their romance like a performance that is as much for themselves as it is for the world to see. To be near Aries and Leo is to witness passion incarnate, a love that burns hot and refuses to fade. Sagittarius and Aries also make a powerful match, a pairing that feels like wind feeding fire, expanding it, pushing it further, giving it room to breathe and grow. Sagittarius brings the spirit of adventure, the craving for freedom, and the optimism that perfectly complements Aries' drive. Where Aries charges ahead, Sagittarius points out new horizons, new lands, new experiences that keep Aries from burning out in a single spot. Together, they are explorers of both the world and the heart. They travel, they seek, they laugh endlessly, and they inspire each other to dream bigger and reach higher. Their love feels like an endless horizon, without walls, without cages, without limits. Neither one tries to hold the other down, because both understand that love is not about ownership but about running side by side toward whatever adventure life offers next. Aries finds in Sagittarius a partner who says yes to their daring impulses, who embraces spontaneity, who shares the hunger for movement and discovery. Sagittarius, in turn, finds in Aries a fearless companion who turns every plan into reality, who makes adventure tangible. This relationship is filled with laughter, late-night conversations, and journeys that feel like chapters in a novel written by fire and freedom. Gemini and Aries can be surprisingly harmonious, a duo that might not appear obvious at first glance but reveals a delightful balance once their energies intertwine. Aries brings bold passion, the direct force of a fire that wants to move forward, while Gemini adds wit, curiosity, and flexibility, the air that gives fire room to dance and flicker in endless patterns. Together, they create a relationship that is playful yet deeply engaging. Aries loves the way Gemini can keep up with their pace, shifting directions with ease, laughing off obstacles, and turning every challenge into a game. Gemini, on the other hand, is captivated by Aries' strength, decisiveness, and unshakable drive. They stimulate each other constantly, with Aries pushing Gemini to act on their ideas and Gemini keeping Aries entertained with cleverness and humor. In this relationship, boredom is nearly impossible. They tease, they banter, they chase each other's minds and bodies, and they delight in the thrill of always learning something new. It is a bond built on endless stimulation, where both feel lighter, freer, and more alive. What makes this pairing special is not just the fun, but the way Gemini's adaptability softens Aries' intensity, turning potential conflicts into moments of laughter rather than flames of anger. Aquarius and Aries share a love of independence and innovation, making their connection electric in its own unconventional way. Aries admires Aquarius' originality, their refusal to conform, their daring to stand apart from the crowd. Aquarius, in turn, is fascinated by Aries' bravery, their courage to act when others hesitate, their willingness to charge into the unknown without fear. Together, they form a relationship that is anything but ordinary. Their love is full of forward-thinking ideas, rebellious energy, and an unshakable respect for each other's individuality. They encourage each other's quirks, celebrate each other's differences, and fuel each other's ambitions. With Aries and Aquarius, there is no need to conform to traditional relationship molds. They create their own rules, their own rhythm, their own love language. This makes their bond deeply inspiring, both to themselves and to those who witness it. It is not always fiery passion in the obvious sense. Sometimes it is the thrill of building something new together, of challenging the world side by side, of knowing that neither will ever try to put the other in a cage. Aries finds in Aquarius a mind that excites them endlessly, while Aquarius finds in Aries a force of courage that matches their vision of innovation. Together, they are a storm of progress and passion. When Aries finds one of these compatible signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, or Aquarius, love flows with fewer obstacles. The usual storms of impatience, the clashes of temper, the restless hunger for novelty all find answers in these partners. These signs not only keep up with Aries' fire but also fuel it, giving it oxygen, giving it purpose, giving it form. Together, they create a love that feels unstoppable, a bond that refuses to settle into mediocrity, a partnership that is alive with sparks and movement. To see Aries with a truly harmonious sign is to witness a force of nature finding its equal, a fire finding its rightful dance partner, a love story that blazes so brightly it cannot help but leave a mark on everyone who watches. Zodiac signs that struggle with Aries in love. While Aries can ignite passion with almost anyone, some signs find it harder to sustain the flame over time. The warrior spirit of Aries, ruled by Mars, thrives on speed, action, bold declarations, and fearless leaps into love. Yet not every zodiac sign is built to endure the relentless energy that Aries radiates day and night. For some, Aries' fire is inspiring but ultimately overwhelming. For others, it is thrilling at first but exhausting when the tempo never slows. The challenge is not that Aries is incapable of love with these signs, far from it, but that the differences in pace, values, and emotional needs can create friction that tests the very foundation of the bond. To understand why certain signs struggle with Aries, we must look not just at their surface traits, but at the deep emotional rhythms that clash with Aries' fiery heartbeat. Cancer and Aries often clash because they live in two very different emotional worlds. Cancer seeks emotional security, nurturing, and the slow weaving of intimacy, while Aries charges ahead with fiery speed, preferring bold moves and instant connection. For Cancer, love is like building a safe home filled with warmth and protection. For Aries, love is like setting off on an adventure where every day is a new battlefield to conquer together. Aries' directness can feel harsh, even cutting, to Cancer's sensitive heart. The blunt words, the impatience, the inability to sit quietly with deep emotion can leave Cancer feeling exposed and misunderstood. On the other hand, Cancer's need for reassurance, constant care, and deep emotional validation can feel suffocating to Aries, who longs for freedom and thrives on spontaneity. When Aries storms in with passion, Cancer may recoil, needing time to trust, needing a softer hand. Over time, Aries can become frustrated with what feels like emotional hesitation, while Cancer may feel bruised by the heat of Aries' fire. And yet, there is beauty in this contrast if both are willing to compromise. Aries can learn tenderness, patience, and the art of slowing down from Cancer, while Cancer can learn courage, boldness, and the thrill of stepping outside of the comfort zone. But without that willingness, the relationship often feels like fire burning through water, intense, dramatic, but difficult to sustain. Capricorn and Aries can also face difficulties, as their life philosophies are written in entirely different languages. Capricorn is disciplined, patient, strategic, and long-term oriented. They think in decades, not days. For them, love is an investment, something to be built brick by brick, a cathedral of loyalty and shared purpose that must stand the test of time. Aries, by contrast, is impulsive, passionate, and thrives on immediate action. Aries does not want to wait, plan, or hesitate. Aries wants to leap ahead, to live the story now, not in 10 years. Capricorn can find Aries reckless, too eager to gamble with both love and life, while Aries may find Capricorn frustratingly slow, overly cautious, or emotionally restrained. The clash often comes in the way they handle challenges. Capricorn strategizes, Aries attacks. Capricorn delays gratification, Aries demands it now. These differences can lead to power struggles, as Capricorn tries to establish control and Aries resists with fiery defiance. And yet, when they do manage to blend their strengths, they can create something extraordinary. Capricorn grounding Aries' fire into lasting form, and Aries inspiring Capricorn to loosen the grip of restraint and taste the thrill of spontaneity. But this requires immense respect, patience, and the ability to laugh at their differences rather than let them harden into walls. Without that, Aries may burn out against Capricorn's stone, and Capricorn may grow weary of Aries' endless flames. Virgo and Aries may also struggle, as their elemental natures often clash in subtle but persistent ways. Virgo, ruled by Mercury, is analytical, detail-oriented, and cautious. For Virgo, love is a careful process of observation, refinement, and building trust through consistency. For Aries, love is a declaration, a flame, an action that must be seized in the moment without hesitation. Aries wants to act now, to leap first and ask questions later, while Virgo wants to perfect every detail, analyze every variable, and make sure that everything is right before moving forward. This mismatch in pace can create frustration. Aries may grow impatient with what feels like nitpicking or unnecessary delay, while Virgo may grow anxious with Aries' impulsiveness, seeing danger in leaps that Aries takes without a second thought. Over time, this can breed misunderstandings, as Aries mistakes Virgo's caution for lack of passion, and Virgo mistakes Aries' passion for recklessness. Yet, if they learn to listen, they can actually teach one another valuable lessons. Virgo can offer Aries grounding, practical wisdom, and the art of slowing down, while Aries can offer Virgo courage, spontaneity, and the reminder that not everything has to be perfect to be beautiful. Without this mutual growth, however, the pairing risks collapsing under the weight of criticism and impatience. Pisces and Aries can have enchanting beginnings, as the magic of fire and water creates a dreamy, intoxicating glow. At first, Aries' fire ignites Pisces' imagination, inspiring them to dream bigger, to step outside of their fantasy and taste the thrill of bold action. Pisces, in turn, enchants Aries with their depth, their emotional poetry, and their ability to see beauty where others see nothing. In the beginning, it feels like a fairy tale, a union of warrior and dreamer. But over time, the differences begin to show. The dreamy, emotional world of Pisces is easily disrupted by Aries' bluntness, fast pace, and fiery demands. Pisces craves gentleness, softness, emotional reassurance, while Aries thrives on challenge, speed, and intensity. What felt exciting at first can begin to feel overwhelming for Pisces, who may retreat into their inner world, feeling bruised by Aries' heat. Aries, meanwhile, may feel slowed down, frustrated by what they perceive as Pisces' indecision, passivity, or need for retreat. This dynamic can create a push and pull, with Aries charging forward while Pisces drifts back, both feeling misunderstood. Still, there is undeniable beauty here if both are willing to meet in the middle. Aries can learn empathy, compassion, and the power of gentleness from Pisces, while Pisces can learn courage, self-assertion, and the joy of living boldly from Aries. But without compromise, this pairing risks dissolving into fire-evaporating water, beautiful in the moment, but fleeting. These challenges do not mean the relationships are doomed, for no astrological pairing is ever truly impossible. Instead, they highlight the lessons Aries must learn when love takes them into unfamiliar territory. Aries must soften their fire, must learn the power of patience, the value of listening, the art of meeting another's needs without losing their own vitality. Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo, and Pisces must learn to withstand intensity without retreating, to see in Aries not just recklessness but passion, not just speed but life force. When both sides are willing to learn, these pairings can transform from struggles into stories of profound growth. But when neither bends, the flame either scorches or fizzles out. Love with Aries is never easy, but for those willing to brave the fire, it can still be unforgettable. The growth Aries brings into love. Love with Aries is never just about affection, it's about growth, transformation, and the stirring of life's deepest fires. Aries does not step into a relationship to merely exist within it. They arrive like a flame entering a quiet room, changing the entire atmosphere. They awaken something in their partners that might have lain dormant for years. Aries pushes their loved ones out of comfort zones, challenging them to move beyond hesitation, beyond fear, beyond the safe routines that may feel protective but often stifle the soul. Their energy is contagious, like a spark that refuses to be ignored, and in love, this energy becomes a catalyst for evolution. To love in Aries is to be challenged to be braver. Aries thrives on courage, and when they fall in love, they want to see that same fire reflected back. If their partner is cautious, hesitant, or prone to overthinking, Aries becomes the force that inspires them to leap before they're ready, to take risks they never imagined they could, to live life more fully than they thought possible. For someone who hides in their comfort zone, Aries is the hand that pulls them out into the wild air of adventure. They say, why wait for tomorrow when today is alive? Why fear failure when passion itself is the reward? In this way, Aries teaches that life is not meant to be carefully preserved but boldly experienced. Their love can feel like standing at the edge of a cliff with the sunrise blazing, terrifying and exhilarating all at once, but undeniably alive. Yet, love with Aries is not one-sided growth. Aries themselves grow through love in ways that they often never expect. At first, Aries may believe that love is about excitement, thrill, and desire. They may believe that as long as there is fire, everything else will follow. But relationships are the great teachers, and for Aries, they reveal that true love requires more than just passion. It asks for patience, for listening, for compromise. Aries' instinct is to rush, to conquer, to demand, but through love they discover that intimacy cannot be rushed, that trust cannot be conquered, that devotion is not demanded but nurtured. They learn to soften their fire without extinguishing it, to balance their boldness with gentleness, to hear another's heartbeat as clearly as their own. In this, Aries evolves from being warriors of desire to guardians of intimacy, protectors of something deeper and more enduring than mere flame. Every relationship teaches Aries a different lesson. Some partners force them to slow down, others make them realize the importance of vulnerability, and others still teach them that strength is not only in charging forward but in staying still, in holding steady, in enduring. These lessons shape Aries into a more complete lover, one who learns that love is not a battlefield to be won but a sanctuary to be built together. For Aries, who begins their romantic journey craving motion and conquest, the evolution is profound. They discover that the greatest adventure is not in chasing the world but in opening their heart. The beauty of Aries love is that it transforms both partners. It is never static, never stagnant. It is always alive, pulsing, demanding growth. Aries shows their partners that love should not be a cage of safety but a force of liberation. Love should dare, it should leap, it should break down barriers and ignite courage. But just as importantly, Aries learns that love must also be tender. Their fire, when fueled by true devotion, becomes not destructive but warming, protective, healing. The passion does not vanish, it matures, reshaping itself into something both fierce and gentle. In the end, Aries teaches us that love is a living thing. It should be daring, fearless, unapologetically alive, but it should also carry patience, softness, and devotion in its core. Love with Aries is not always easy, but it is always transformative. It takes two people and makes them more than they were before. And that is the ultimate growth that Aries brings into love. The reminder that love is not just about finding someone to hold, but about becoming someone braver, deeper, and more alive in the act of loving. Final thoughts on Aries in love. To love in Aries is to embark on a journey that is anything but ordinary, a journey that awakens the spirit and sets the heart ablaze. When Aries enters someone's life as a lover, the mundane transforms into something extraordinary. The days are no longer routine, they are charged with a current of excitement, an anticipation that something new, bold, and exhilarating might happen at any moment. Aries doesn't simply invite you into love, they pull you into an adventure, a dance in the fire where every step is unpredictable, every glance is electric, and every kiss feels like it carries the weight of both danger and delight. To be loved by Aries is to know what it means to feel utterly alive. Aries love is a whirlwind, and within that whirlwind lies a wild kind of beauty. They embody spontaneity in its purest form. They live in the moment, not in the shadows of yesterday or the illusions of tomorrow, but in the blazing immediacy of today. With them, there is little space for hesitation or doubt. Their love says, "Leap now, the net will appear later." For someone willing to embrace that energy, Aries becomes the force that tears down barriers and teaches that life's richest treasures are found not in caution, but in boldness. They turn ordinary dinners into adventures, quiet walks into unforgettable conversations, and fleeting moments into eternal memories. To love in Aries is to live in a constant state of awakening, where passion is the air you breathe. Yet with this intensity comes challenge. Aries does not offer a love of calm waters and predictable tides. Their nature is fire, not water, and those who seek stillness or absolute security may feel shaken by the heat. Aries thrives on challenge, both giving and receiving it, and their relationships are often marked by sparks that can ignite not only passion but also conflict. But this, too, is part of the beauty. For Aries, even challenges are a sign of love. They argue, they push, they provoke, not because they do not care, but because they care so fiercely that their fire cannot be contained. Love with Aries is not about avoiding storms, but about learning to dance in the lightning. Their heart, however, is always honest. What you see with Aries is what you get. They are not masters of subtle games or quiet manipulation. If they love you, you will know it, through their words, their actions, their relentless pursuit of your attention and affection. Aries does not hide behind masks. Their heart is raw, direct, and open, burning with a sincerity that is rare in a world so often veiled with pretense. They will tell you when they are angry, they will show you when they are in love, and they will never leave you wondering where you stand. In this way, their honesty is a gift, sometimes brash, sometimes overwhelming, but always real. Their passion is eternal, and it is the defining essence of their love. For Aries, passion is not a fleeting spark, it is the fire at the core of their being. Even when life grows heavy, even when time brings trials, that fire never dies. It shifts, it deepens, but it remains. Aries may struggle with routine, with monotony, with anything that dims their flame, but when their love is true, Their passion adapts into loyalty, into dedication, into a fierce kind of devotion that will not easily let go. Their partners may sometimes question their intensity, but they will never doubt their depth of feeling. Aries carries love not lightly, but as a sacred flame meant to be fed, protected, and shared. To some, Aries may not be easy to handle. Their impulsiveness can unsettle, their independence can frustrate, their hunger for life can overwhelm. Yet even these qualities are part of their unforgettable nature. Love with Aries is never about comfort alone. It is about growth, about risk, about the courage to face not only another person but also oneself. They will test your limits, yes, but in testing them, they will also expand them. They will push you to see the parts of yourself that you never thought possible, to reach for heights you never dreamed of, to live not halfway but fully. It takes strength to love them, but it also takes strength to walk away, and most who love in Aries find that even if they part ways, the memory lingers, burning like embers that refuse to fade. Aries reminds us of something essential about love itself, that it is not meant to be a quiet harbor alone, but also a roaring sea. It is not meant only to soothe, but also to ignite. It is not meant to be safe all the time, but daring, alive, fearless. Their love teaches that passion and tenderness are not opposites but partners in the same dance, that devotion can be both wild and steady, that the heart is strongest when it burns brightly. To love in Aries is to step into this truth, that love, at its core, is meant to be alive, burning, and fearless. And so the final thought on Aries in love is this: they may challenge you, they may overwhelm you, they may even break you open, but they will never leave you unchanged. They are the fire that scorches away fear, the passion that makes ordinary life shimmer with color, the bold heart that shows us what it means to truly live in love. With Aries, love is not a quiet lullaby. It is a battle cry, a sunrise, a flame that dares you to be more than you were yesterday. Their love is unforgettable because it is alive, and once you've danced in that fire, you carry its heat within you forever.